Welcome to our comprehensive guide on navigating FDA and EMA regulations. In today's global pharmaceutical landscape, understanding the regulatory frameworks of both the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the European Medicines Agency, EMA, is crucial for success. Whether you're a startup or an established company, knowing how to approach these agencies can make or break your product's journey to market. In this video, we'll break down the key differences, similarities, and strategies for working with both organizations. Let's start by exploring why regulatory compliance matters and how it impacts every stage of drug development. FDA, or Food and Drug Administration, is the primary regulatory body for pharmaceuticals in the United States. It oversees the safety, efficacy, and quality of drugs, biologics, and medical devices. The FDA's mission is to protect public health by ensuring that products are safe for consumers. Companies seeking to market their products in the U.S. must comply with FDA regulations, which include rigorous clinical trials, detailed documentation, and ongoing post-market surveillance. Understanding the FDA's structure and requirements is the first step in successful regulatory navigation. European Medicines Agency, or EMA, serves as the central regulatory authority for pharmaceuticals in the European Union. Its role is to evaluate, supervise, and monitor medicines to ensure they are safe and effective for patients across member states. The EMA coordinates scientific resources from various EU countries, providing a unified approach to drug approval. Companies aiming to enter the European market must navigate EMA's centralized procedures, which differ in some respects from the FDA's processes. Knowing these distinctions is essential for global regulatory strategy. While both the FDA and EMA aim to ensure public safety, their regulatory approaches can differ significantly. The FDA operates under U.S. federal law with its own set of guidelines and review timelines. The EMA, on the other hand, works within the framework of the European Union, coordinating input from multiple countries. Differences can be seen in application formats, data requirements, and approval timelines. Understanding these distinctions helps companies tailor their submissions and avoid common pitfalls when seeking approval in both regions. Despite their differences, the FDA and EMA share a common goal: protecting public health by ensuring medicines are safe, effective, and high quality. Both agencies require robust clinical data, thorough documentation, and ongoing monitoring after approval. They also collaborate on certain initiatives, such as harmonizing guidelines and sharing safety information. Recognizing these similarities can help streamline your regulatory strategy and foster a more efficient approval process across both regions. Submitting a drug application to the FDA involves several key steps. First, companies must conduct preclinical studies to demonstrate safety. Next, they submit an investigational new drug IND application before starting clinical trials. After successful trials, a new drug application NDA or biologics license application BLA is filed. The FDA reviews the data, inspects manufacturing facilities, and may request additional information. This process is rigorous but designed to ensure only safe and effective products reach the market. EMA's centralized procedure allows companies to submit a single application for approval across all EU member states. The process begins with preclinical and clinical studies, followed by a marketing authorization application (MAA). The EMA's Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use (CHMP) evaluates the data and provides a scientific opinion. If positive, the European Commission grants marketing authorization. This streamlined approach can expedite access to multiple markets, but requires careful preparation and coordination. Both the FDA and EMA require extensive clinical trials to demonstrate a drug's safety and efficacy. However, there are differences in trial design, patient populations, and reporting standards. The FDA often requires more detailed data on U.S. populations, while the EMA may focus on broader European demographics. Understanding these nuances ensures your clinical development plan meets the expectations of both agencies, reducing the risk of delays or rejection. Accurate and comprehensive documentation is essential for regulatory approval. The FDA and EMA both require detailed records of preclinical and clinical data, manufacturing processes, and quality controls. However, the format and level of detail may differ. The FDA typically uses the Common Technical Document (CTD) format, while the EMA has its own submission requirements. Ensuring your documentation aligns with each agency's expectations is key to a smooth review process. Manufacturing quality is a top priority for both the FDA and EMA. Each agency has strict guidelines for good manufacturing practices (GMP), which ensure products are consistently produced and controlled. Inspections are common, and any deviations can result in delays or rejections. Companies must maintain detailed records, train staff, and implement robust quality systems. Adhering to these standards not only facilitates approval, but also protects patient safety. Approval is just the beginning. Both the FDA and EMA require ongoing monitoring of medicines after they reach the market. This includes tracking adverse events, reporting safety concerns, and conducting additional studies if needed. Post-market surveillance helps identify rare side effects and ensures continued product safety. Companies must have systems in place to collect and report data promptly, maintaining compliance throughout the product's lifecycle. Labeling and packaging requirements are another area where FDA and EMA regulations diverge. The FDA has specific rules for labeling content, font size, and warnings, while the EMA focuses on multilingual labeling and harmonized information across EU countries. Companies must tailor their packaging to meet each agency's standards, ensuring patients receive clear and accurate information regardless of location. Both the FDA and EMA offer incentives for developing treatments for rare diseases, known as orphan drugs. These incentives include reduced fees, tax credits, and market exclusivity. However, the criteria for orphan designation and the application process can differ. Understanding these differences can help companies maximize benefits and bring innovative therapies to patients with unmet medical needs. Speed up access to important medicines. Both agencies offer expedited approval pathways. The FDA has programs like Fast Track, Breakthrough Therapy, and Priority Review. The EMA offers accelerated assessment and conditional marketing authorization. Each pathway has unique requirements and benefits, so selecting the right one can significantly impact your product's time to market. Developing medicines for children involves additional regulatory requirements. The FDA's Pediatric Research Equity Act, PREA, and the EMA's Pediatric Investigation Plan, PIP, mandate that companies study their products in pediatric populations. These requirements ensure that medicines are safe and effective for children, but they also add complexity to the development process. Early planning is essential to meet both agencies' expectations. Effective communication with regulatory agencies is key to a successful approval process. Both the FDA and EMA offer opportunities for meetings and scientific advice throughout development. These interactions help clarify requirements, address concerns, and build trust. Proactive engagement can prevent misunderstandings and streamline the review process, saving time and resources. FDA and EMA have made significant efforts to harmonize their regulatory requirements through initiatives like the International Council for Harmonization (ICH). These collaborations aim to align guidelines, reduce duplication, and facilitate global drug development. Staying informed about harmonization efforts can help companies leverage common standards and simplify their regulatory strategy. Pharmacovigilance, or drug safety monitoring, is a critical component of regulatory compliance. Both the FDA and EMA require companies to establish systems for detecting, assessing, and reporting adverse events. These systems must be robust, transparent, and capable of responding quickly to safety concerns. Effective pharmacovigilance protects patients and maintains regulatory approval. Quality by design, QBD, is an approach encouraged by both the FDA and EMA. It involves designing manufacturing processes to ensure consistent product quality from the outset. QBD principles include identifying critical quality attributes, risk assessment, and continuous improvement. Implementing QBD can lead to more efficient development, fewer regulatory hurdles, and better patient outcomes. Data integrity is a top concern for both agencies. The FDA and EMA expect companies to maintain accurate, complete, and secure records throughout development and manufacturing. This includes electronic data, paper records, and audit trails. Any breaches of data integrity can result in severe regulatory consequences, including rejection of applications or product recalls. Both the FDA and EMA conduct inspections and audits to verify compliance with regulations. These can occur at any stage of development or after approval. Inspections may focus on manufacturing sites, clinical trial conduct, or data management. Being prepared for inspections is essential, as findings can delay or halt product approval. Risk management is a shared priority for both agencies. Companies must develop and implement risk management plans to identify, assess, and mitigate potential risks associated with their products. These plans are reviewed during the approval process and updated as new information emerges. Effective risk management protects patients and supports regulatory compliance. Market exclusivity and patent protection are important considerations in regulatory strategy. The FDA and EMA offer different periods of exclusivity for new drugs, orphan drugs, and pediatric indications. Understanding these timelines helps companies plan their market entry and maximize return on investment. Patent strategies should be aligned with regulatory milestones for optimal protection. Proving generic drugs involves demonstrating bioequivalence to the original product. The FDA and EMA have specific guidelines for generic applications, including data requirements and review timelines. Navigating these pathways efficiently can help companies bring affordable medicines to market while maintaining high standards of quality and safety. Biologics and biosimilars are complex products that require specialized regulatory pathways. The FDA's Biologics License Application, BLA, and the EMA's biosimilar guidelines outline the requirements for approval. These include demonstrating similarity to the reference product, robust analytical data, and clinical studies. Understanding these pathways is essential for companies developing innovative biologic therapies. Medical devices are regulated separately from drugs, with distinct requirements in both the US and EU. The FDA classifies devices by risk and requires per-market notification or approval. The EMA follows the Medical Device Regulation (MDR), which emphasizes safety, performance, and post-market surveillance. Companies must understand these frameworks to ensure compliance and successful product launches. Digital health products and medical software are an emerging area of regulation. The FDA and EMA are developing frameworks to address software as a medical device, SaaS, mobile health apps, and digital therapeutics. Staying updated on evolving guidelines is crucial for companies in this fast-moving sector, as requirements can change rapidly. Companion diagnostics are tests used to identify patients who will benefit from specific therapies. The FDA and EMA have established pathways for approving these tests alongside drugs. Requirements include demonstrating clinical validity, analytical performance, and alignment with therapeutic indications. Coordinating drug and diagnostic development is key to regulatory success. Advanced therapies, such as gene and cell therapies, present unique regulatory challenges. The The FDA and EMA have created specialized pathways for these products, including the FDA's Regenerative Medicine Advanced Therapy RMAT designation and the EMA's Advanced Therapy Medicinal Products (ATMP) framework. Companies must navigate complex scientific, ethical, and regulatory issues to bring these innovative treatments to patients. Developing a global regulatory strategy involves aligning submissions, timelines, and requirements across multiple agencies. Companies must consider local regulations, language barriers, and cultural differences. A coordinated approach can reduce duplication, speed up approvals, and ensure consistent product quality worldwide. Strategic planning is essential for success in the global market. Regulatory intelligence involves staying informed about changes in laws, guidelines, and agency expectations. Both the FDA and EMA regularly update their requirements, and being proactive can help companies anticipate challenges and adapt quickly. Investing in regulatory intelligence tools and resources is a smart move for any organization aiming for long-term success. Regulatory affairs professionals play a vital role in navigating FDA and EMA requirements. They coordinate submissions, communicate with agencies, and ensure compliance at every stage. Building a skilled regulatory team can make the difference between success and failure, as these experts guide products through complex approval processes. Many companies encounter obstacles when navigating FDA and EMA regulations. Common pitfalls include incomplete documentation, poor communication with agencies, and failure to meet local requirements. Learning from others' mistakes and proactively addressing potential issues can help you avoid costly delays and setbacks. Let's look at a real-world example of a company successfully navigating the FDA approval process. By investing in robust clinical trials, maintaining open communication with the agency, and preparing thorough documentation, the company secured approval for its innovative therapy. This case highlights the importance of preparation, transparency, and adaptability in regulatory affairs. Now let's examine a case where a company achieved EMA approval. The team navigated the centralized procedure, addressed feedback from the CHMP, and coordinated with multiple EU member states. Their success demonstrates the value of understanding regional differences and building strong relationships with regulatory authorities. From these case studies, it's clear that preparation, communication, and flexibility are key to regulatory success. Companies that invest in understanding agency expectations and building strong internal teams are better positioned to overcome challenges and achieve timely approvals. Regulatory landscapes are constantly evolving. The FDA and EMA are embracing new technologies such as real-world evidence, digital health, and artificial intelligence. Staying ahead of these trends can give companies a competitive edge and open new opportunities for innovation. Policy changes can have a major impact on regulatory requirements. Both agencies periodically revise their guidelines in response to scientific advances, public health needs, and global events. Keeping up with these changes is essential for maintaining compliance and seizing new market opportunities. Both the FDA and EMA are moving toward digital submission systems. Electronic Common Technical Document (ECTD) formats are now standard, streamlining the review process and improving data management. Companies should invest in digital infrastructure and ensure their teams are trained in electronic submission best practices. International collaboration is becoming increasingly important in regulatory affairs. The FDA and EMA often work together on inspections, safety monitoring, and guideline development. Companies that foster global partnerships can benefit from shared knowledge, reduced duplication, and faster access to markets. Both agencies are placing greater emphasis on patient-centric approaches in drug development. This includes incorporating patient input into clinical trial design, labeling, and post-market monitoring. Engaging patients early and often can improve outcomes and increase the likelihood of regulatory success. Ethics play a central role in regulatory decision-making. Both the FDA and EMA require companies to adhere to ethical standards in clinical trials, data reporting, and marketing. Upholding these standards not only ensures compliance but also builds public trust and supports long-term success. Regulatory environment is dynamic, requiring ongoing education and adaptation. Companies should invest in training for their teams, attend industry conferences, and participate in regulatory workshops. Continuous learning ensures your organization stays ahead of changes and maintains a competitive edge. To summarize, navigating FDA and EMA regulations requires a deep understanding of both agencies' requirements, proactive communication, and strategic planning. By staying informed, building strong teams, and embracing innovation, companies can successfully bring safe and effective products to patients worldwide. Let's review the main takeaways before we conclude. Thank you for joining us on this journey through FDA and EMA regulations. As the regulatory landscape continues to evolve, staying adaptable and informed is more important than ever. Whether you're preparing your first submission or expanding globally, the strategies discussed in this video will help you navigate the complexities of regulatory affairs with confidence. Wishing you success in your regulatory endeavors.